Oh, hey, good evening, America. How are you? I'm going to tell you what, these Twinkies are good. I think everybody should eat more Twinkies. You know, I live in Kentucky, and we have a state representative named Representative Ben Wade, and he works in the healthcare profession. And one time he was discussing the Obamacare law, and I think he was quoted as saying that the U.S. government doesn't have the constitutional authority to force you to buy a Twinkie. And Twinkies are great. I mean, they're fantastic. Out of all the things that they've been doing, I wish the government would make it a constitutional authority to make everyone eat more Twinkies. I think everyone would be happier. But let's get down to business, okay? What a week, huh? On June 28th of 2012, let me get my composure. The Supreme Court of the United States said that the Constitution can go to hell. Justice Roberts sided with the liberal left and voted to uphold the individual mandate of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. I just love what they call their bills. You know, those wonderful progressives. It just makes me feel all cozy and warm and loving. I'll tell you. Oh, and I just need to give everyone a big old bear hug. I love progressives in the wording of their bills, like the Patriot Act, which is completely unconstitutional and unpatriotic. Let's take a look at what President Obama said here. President Obama was giving a speech about the Supreme Court justice ruling, and he happened to say, quote, that it was a victory for people all over the country and will make their lives more secure. Really? Really? More secure? What about their liberty? What did Ben Franklin say? Ben Franklin having to say that he who gives up liberty for security deserves neither and will lose both. So, Mr. President, since your bill actually takes away liberty in its effort to provide security according to you, then in essence, eventually in time, everyone will lose all their liberty and also the alleged security that you just supposedly provided. Now, this gentleman here is Vladimir Lenin. Lenin was a Russian communist revolutionary. He's also a politician and political theorist who served as the premier of the Soviet Union from 1922 to 1924. As a Marxist, he was responsible for developing the political theory of Marxism-Leninism. After orchestrating the overthrow of the provisional government in November 1917, Lenin's Bolsheviks took power and successfully created the world's first socialist state, the Russian Socialist Federalist Soviet Republic. Wow, try saying that like 10 times real fast. That's, I think I need another Twinkie. His memory has been used to support every change in Soviet policy and every new regime since his death. His theories inspired the successful revolutions of this gentleman, Fidel Castro. How about this gentleman, Mr. Mao Zedong? Wow, I like that flag back there. And also this gentleman, Mr. Ho Chi Minh. You know what? I hate when people praise these revolutionaries as if what they did was for the people. How many people did they murder to achieve their goals? Oh yes, let's not forget that wonderful progressive anthem of the ends justify the means, right? Let's take a look at what Lenin has said here. Lenin says that socialized medicine is the keystone to the arc of the socialist state. Lenin also said, quote, the goal of socialism is communism. I am warning you now, America, our freedoms and liberties are under attack. We have been infiltrated by communist revolutionaries and they've infiltrated our entire government. And I'm telling you, we got progressives, which are communists, all the way from the local municipality city levels all the way to Washington, D.C. All right? So let me tell you something, people. You better prepare. Never in history has a communist revolution occurred peacefully. There has always been bloodshed and mass murder in its wake. All right? Never forget that. Murder and bloodshed in its wake. Communism is complete control. The government drunk on power pushes everyone around. Well, guess what? All a man emboldened with liberty can do is push back. Here is the tactic. All right? Here's what's going to happen. Days, months, and a year will go by, and you will notice very, very little. And the progressives are going to say, see, our Obamacare bill is not so bad. Whenever I think about this, I'm quite reminded of the song that maybe you've heard it before. Have you ever seen The Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival? Now, I'm going to warn you now, I'm about to sing, so if you have small children, please tell them to leave the room. But the song starts off something like, someone told me long ago that there's a calm before the storm. I know. Oh, yeah, I love that song. It's been coming for some time. Oh, yeah, that's how that song goes. Well, guess what? There is a calm before the storm, and it's a coming, people. Everything is done progressively. So, why? To get you used to it. Just like a frog. You throw a frog into boiling water and he will jump out. But you put a frog into cool water and turn the heat up oh so gradually and slowly. And guess what? Just like we like to do here in old Kentucky, you'll be dining on frog legs a little while later. So, how does it start? Effective now, since the Supreme Court has upheld the Obamacare individual mandate, the first thing that happens is it places a limit on just how much of a percentage of the money an insurer how much they make can be profit. So, the government now can tell a company how much money they are allowed to make. That bothers me. That bothers me a whole lot, and here's why. Because now that some sort of legal Supreme Court justice decision has been made that has now allowed the government to regulate how much money one company can make and profit, equal protection of the law can apply, and now the government can technically, if they wanted to, regulate how much profit any company can make. That's not America, people. All right. The second thing that happens right now is that any health plan sold after August 1st must provide preventive care without requiring any sort of a copay or charge. Well, golly gee shucks. I bet that is just going to make the premiums go down. I think not. The premiums are going to increase. Now, as of January 1st of 2013, if you make over $200,000 a year, your taxes are going to increase. You want to know why? Because you got to pay for everyone that's making less than you. What's wrong with you making more than $200,000 a year? That's not fair. You got to spread the wealth around, right? See, the big issue with the health care does not actually kick in until January 1st of 2014. So while nothing drastic happens right now, it's going to. All right, so while you're getting all used to it, it's no big deal and all of what's all the uproar about? Why are you so angry, Chris? Because I see what's coming. It's January 1st, 2015 when all the big stuff kicks in. So let's review what happens there. First thing that happens, it's no more pre-existing conditions. That means every health insurance company has to accept you no matter what your health condition is. So that means they're going to bring you in, and now they're going to be paying out more in health care. So if they're paying out more, that means they need more revenue to pay out for that health care. So what do you think their premiums are going to do? They're going to go up. They're going to increase the premiums. Doesn't mean that their profit's going to increase, because remember the government's regulating how much profit they can make. But it means their premiums going to increase to be able to pay for all the health care costs. Keep that in mind. 2, if you cannot afford insurance but do not get it, you will be charged a fee, which the Supreme Court Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States has qualified this fee as a tax. That's how they said it was constitutional in the first place. But I could have sworn that the president and others said something like, this is not a tax. And they said that several times. They're advocating for it. So let's watch this video here from theblaze.com.
I don't think I'm making it up. Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Tax, a charge usually of money imposed by authority on persons or property for public purposes.
George, the fact that you looked up Merriam's dictionary, the definition of tax increase indicates to me that you're stretching a little bit right now. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gone to the dictionary to check on the definition.
Well, no.
I mean, if what you're saying is...
I wanted to check for myself, but your critics say it is a tax increase.
My critics say everything's a tax increase. My critics say that I'm taking over every sector of the economy. You know that. Look, we can have a legitimate debate about whether or not we're going to have an individual mandate or not. But
you reject that it's a tax increase.
I absolutely reject that notion.
Now, what happens if you do not comply or just cannot pay this fee at all? I would like to know what happens if the government issues you a fine and you do not pay it. All the time in my local newspaper, I open it up and I read where it says that someone's been arrested or charged for non-payment of fines. So you're telling me that if I don't buy health insurance and I don't pay your fine for not buying it, what are you going to do to me? You're going to jail me? You're going to have the IRS garnish my wages? Oh, so now the IRS has become your own little private army, huh? Who decides what you can afford? Maybe a family makes $120,000 a year and you say, wow, they should be able to afford health care. But wait a minute, they have 6 children. Have you seen how much it costs to raise a child these days? Who is it that decides what you can afford? Who is it to tell you what you can afford? More government oversight. Just what we like here in America. We love that government watching all of our moves, right? Let's look at number 3. The low-income cutoff is set higher so that more people can qualify for Medicaid. Okay, more people are qualifying for Medicaid. Ladies and gentlemen, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are our biggest outlays that are bankrupting our country. We are broke. We are broke. We are broke. Broke. We're broke. Broke. Do you understand what the word broke means? For all you progressives and people in the government, maybe you should go grab a Webster's dictionary and look up the definition of the word broke. And then if you need any help understanding the financial side of it, why don't you run down to your little banker friend Ben Bernanke and ask him what the word, well actually Ben Bernanke would probably be a bad example of someone to ask. Ask your Main Street banker what the word broke is. And ask them what they do when one of their customers is broke and owes them money. So we're broke and now we're going to make it allowable for more people to be on Medicaid. Well, where does all that money come from? Oh, watch this video here because evidently this is where the people think the money comes from.
Will you know today how much money you're getting?
No, I won't, but I'm waiting for a phone call.
Where's the money coming from?
I believe it's coming from the city of Detroit or the state.
Where did they get it from?
Some funds that was given by Obama.
And where did Obama get the funds?
Obama might have gotten the funds from, I have no idea. Tell you the truth, he's the president.
Why are you here?
To get some money.
What kind of money?
Obama money.
Where's it coming from?
Obama.
And where did Obama get it?
I don't know, his stash. I don't know. I don't know where he got it from. But he's giving it to us to help us. We love him. That's why we voted for him.
Oh yeah, Obama's stash, right? It's his stash. Well, where does Obama get his stash? Oh, the printing press. Well, the more money that we print, the less valuable your money becomes and the more prices go up. It's called inflation. So, if they don't want to do it that way, then how do they get the money? Oh, they increase taxes. That's right. We just tax people more. So we do have a tax increase coming down the way. Wow, that sure is going to help our economy with job creation, you know? Because those taxes, I forgot that when we increase taxes on businesses, they just get all excited and want to go hire more people. Well, I tell you what. 4th thing, let's look at number 4. Businesses, okay, with 50 or more employees must offer health insurance to their full-time employees or they have to pay a penalty. Now, there's all kinds of problems here that I see. If you work somewhere with more than 50 employees, now look, all of you in the cubicles and things like that, stick your head up. Yeah, look over the cubicle and start counting how many people are out there, okay? If you have more than 50 employees, I hope you're prepared. You are about to be cut to part-time. Your hours are going to get cut, okay? If you're working at a business with, let's say 60 employees, be prepared for 11 pink slips. All right. If you're a business with, say, 40 to 49 employees and you were looking to hire some more people to increase production, I bet you are no longer looking to hire people, but are more likely trying to contemplate on how to increase production with your current workforce. Let's take a look over here at this board. Number 5. Now remember, all this stuff starts on January 1st of 2014. All right. It places a new tax on pharmaceuticals. So the cost of operation for pharmaceutical companies is going to increase. So they will either raise their prices or lay off employees to compensate for it. At the end of the day, people, anytime the government enacts a tax, guess what? It will not be the company that's paying the tax. It will be you by the amount you pay for their product. 6, let's see. It places a new tax on medical devices. Same scenario here. It's going to cause the cost of medical devices to increase or cause the company to lay off employees that produce the medical devices, right? Now, number 7. This is the one that shocks me the most. This shows me how ignorant our current administration at the government is. It places a new tax on insurance companies based on their market share, okay? So basically, the more of the market that they control, the more they will be taxed. Oh my gosh, how freaking stupid is that? You want to make healthcare more affordable so that if I'm a health insurance company and price our insurance lower than the competition, then more people are going to buy from me. And because I have done what you are asking me to do and making healthcare more affordable, my company is to be penalized with a higher new tax. How much sense does that make? We want you all to lower the cost of healthcare, but when you do, you're going to pay more. That's great. But it continues, my friends. It gets a little worse from here. And remember what I told you about opening that door, Pandora's box. Now we're allowing the government to regulate how much profit a company can make. Check this out. On January 1st of 2015, guess what part of the law is? Doctors' salaries will be determined by the quality of their care, not how many people they treat. Free market here, anyone? I got my hand up, free market, please. Do we really need the government for this? Individual choice determines the doctor's pay. If I'm going to my doctor and his treatments are helping me, then I will continue to use his services. And I'll tell my friends to use them too. And his pay will increase, all right? His price is going to be what I am willing to pay and can agree to afford. If I'm going to my doctor and his services are not helping me, then I will choose another doctor. And therefore, my original doctor will have one less patient paying for his services and his income will go down. I'll probably also tell my friends, hey, don't go to this doctor. He's horrible. I went to him, tried to get better. I still stayed sick. He didn't treat me right, so stop going to him. Guess what? It'll put that doctor out of business. So the only doctors that are going to be in business and making a good living are the ones who are treating their customers right anyway. All of this without the government. So who is the government to tell what someone is allowed to be paid anyway? Is that America? No. Is that America? Does the government have the right to tell you what you're allowed to be paid or what you're allowed to pay your employees or how much money you're allowed to make? That's not America. How much longer before the government starts regulating everyone's pay? Oh, communism. Here we come. Just what we all wanted. See, it starts with doctors, then lawyers, then accountants, then bankers, which the bankers may already be done with all the bailouts and stuff that they've been doing. I'm not sure. But I'm sure that it'll get even more regulated. But guess what? After the doctors, lawyers, accountants, bankers, and all these other high priority people who are just making more than $200,000 a year, guess what? The regulations then come to you. Yes, you will be regulated eventually. It's progressively. You might not be regulated today. But the things that are being done today are going to lay the foundation for tomorrow. Now, on January 1st of 2015, it allows that if any state can develop their own plan that gives its citizens the same level of care at the same price as the, remember? The oh-so-warm and, gotta watch out for my microphone there. The oh-so-warm and fuzzy Patient Protection and Affordable Health Care Act. Then the state can ask permission from the Secretary of Health and Human Services or Resources to do their plan instead of the Patient Protection and Affordable Health Care Act. Oh, you're so cute. So if a state can accomplish the same results as Obamacare without the mandate, then they'll be allowed to do so. An example here would be the state of Vermont, which is seeking to do a straight single-payer program in which everyone is covered and medical expenses are paid by the taxpayers. Great! More spending by government and more taxes. Oh, that's why we came to this land of the freedom, so we can pay more money to the government. Why don't we just bring back King George? Have any of you ever heard of the word incentive? When you increase taxes, you decrease incentive. Why start a business? There's no incentive because every dollar I make is just going to go to the government. So why do it? Why go to work? There's no incentive. Let's just let the government, make unemployment benefits never cease. When it comes time for them to expire, let's just extend them. So we'll say, well, we're not going to make them indefinitely, but every time that they're supposed to end, we're just going to extend them for another 6 months or 100 months or just indefinitely. Heck. Let's pay out $300, $400 a week. Now the people will have no incentive to find a job. Why go to work when you can just sit at home and we'll send you a check? One of my staff members told me that a gentleman messaged our company on Facebook about our comment about the government taking over healthcare while I was indulging in my gluttonous consumption of donuts. You know, I like those donuts, you know. Well, and the gentleman said, now, you know the government didn't take over anything, and that is an emotionally charged phrase and you're using. The same companies that have always ran our healthcare continue to run it. The main difference being that they are now compelled to pay 80% of the premiums they collect on health services, which is still low in my opinion. Well, sir, anytime the government can tell a company what to do with their money and how to spend it, the government has taken over. So quit trying to spin it. It's a government takeover of healthcare. They are now regulating the insurance companies completely and telling them what they can and cannot do with their money. That is a government takeover. It doesn't matter who's running it, it's who's in control of it. Do you understand? Who's in control? And when the government controls everything, what is that? It's communism. Also, do you think that with this government they cannot tell you what you can eat and drink with healthcare now? Just look at New York. You're no longer allowed to buy a big gulp soda. You know the ones where you go into the little convenience store and it's like a giant cup this big and you fill it full of as much Coke as you can and they only charge you like 79 cents? Look, it's probably not a good idea to drink too many of those. But isn't that really up to you? I think I'll have another Twinkie. Hang on, let me see. I think we need more Twinkies. We need more Twinkies over here because the government just oh, love it. So, are you so stupid? Did you get that, Eric? Twinkie just flew over at you. Sorry, buddy. It's okay. I'm spitting Twinkie all over our camera guys. You're like, why do I work with this guy? His Twinkies are going nuts. Oh. My wife loves my Twinkies too. How's my figure? Looking good? Let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah. Let's get back to business. I got a drink of water. That's horrible. What are we doing on this show anyway? What are we here for? So, my question is this. Are you so stupid that you need the government to make it illegal and tell you what to do? See, those who want the government to do everything for you, they're basically saying that we the people are just too dumb to take care of ourselves. Well, we here at Agenda Truth happen to disagree. We believe in individual rights and liberty. Hang on, what was it? Those Twinkies are really good there. Let's see, I think I'm ready now, guys. See, we believe in individual rights and liberty. The government screws everything up. Yes, and now every time I say this, people say, no, there's lots of great things the government has done. Oh, the government, they've regulated banks, all these regulations. Yes, no. The government screws everything up. They are $16 trillion in debt. Debt. $16 trillion in debt. How is that a good thing? Who cares if anyone has offered you free healthcare or free housing, or if they've regulated the banks, or if they've done all this stuff to supposedly help you and all this other stuff, if it cannot be financially sustained and causes the collapse of our country? What good have they really done if they're going to leave us in a destitute, desolate world of destruction at the end? Or at least the country as we know it, that was founded on individual freedom and liberty. So yes, sir, I am emotionally charged. To quote Thomas Jefferson, I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Now look, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I see the end game. I see the big picture, and the big picture is not Obamacare. The big picture is not this one piece of legislation. The big picture is turning our country into a communist state with complete government control. Healthcare, as Lenin put it, is the keystone to the creation. The keystone, do you understand? To the creation of a socialist state. And Lenin also said that the goal of socialism is communism. So all of that being said, here you go. Have a Twinkie while you still can. We'll see you next week.